When you picture ancient Egypt, what comes to mind? Majestic pyramids, powerful pharaohs, mummies shrouded in mystery, perhaps their pantheon of gods, Isis, Horus, Ra. But Zeus? Probably not the first deity that springs to mind. Yet a recent discovery in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula has unearthed a lost temple dedicated to the Greek god of the sky.
Egypt, once a mighty empire, had been weakened by internal strife and external pressures. The Persians, under Cambyses II, dealt a significant blow by conquering Egypt in the 6th century BC. Although Egyptians managed to regain independence for a time, they were never quite the same force. This vulnerability paved the way for Alexander the Great's conquest in 332 BC. Unlike the Persians who largely imposed their rule, Alexander cleverly integrated himself into the Egyptian framework. He recognized the power of the Egyptian gods and even participated in their rituals, a strategic move to gain the acceptance of his new subjects. He started the construction of a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis, demonstrating his respect for Egyptian religious traditions. After Alexander's untimely death, his vast empire was divided amongst his generals. Ptolemy I Soter, a shrewd and capable leader, emerged as the ruler of Egypt. In 305 BC, he declared himself pharaoh, marking the beginning of the Ptolemaic dynasty. This wasn't just a change in leadership, it was a cultural shift. This Greek dynasty reigned for almost 300 years, ending with Cleopatra's tragic death. The Ptolemies brought their Greek heritage, including their mythology, into Egypt. They were a rather insular bunch, maintaining their Greek identity through, well, a lot of intermarrying. 10 out of 15 Ptolemaic marriages were between siblings. Most rulers didn't even bother learning Egyptian. Cleopatra was the exception, the first and last of her line to master the language. The Ptolemies, though of Greek origin, understood the importance of respecting Egyptian traditions to maintain their power. They adopted Egyptian titles, participated in religious ceremonies, and even portrayed themselves in traditional pharaonic style. However, they also brought their own Greek heritage with them. This led to a unique blend of cultures, evident in art, architecture, and religion. Temples like the one discovered in Pelusium are a testament to this fusion. While dedicated to Greek gods, they were likely influenced by Egyptian architectural styles and may have even incorporated elements of Egyptian religious practices. But Pelusium's story predates the Ptolemies. It was a key player in the Persian conquest of Egypt in 525 BC. The young pharaoh Psemtik III faced the formidable Persian king Cambyses II. Psemtik, betrayed by his Greek allies and plagued by bad omens, stood no chance. The Battle of Pelusium was a bloodbath. Legend has it, the Persians exploited the Egyptians' reverence for cats, using them as shields to advance on the city. Unable to harm the sacred animals, the Egyptians were routed. Psemtik was captured and ultimately took his own life, marking the end of an era for Egypt. The sands of time quite literally swallowed Pelusium whole. Despite its once strategic importance as a bustling port city and a key military stronghold, its location at the Pelusiac branch of the Nile Delta proved to be its downfall. Over centuries, the relentless Nile deposited silt that gradually choked the harbour, cutting off its lifeline to the Mediterranean. As the coastline receded, Pelusium lost its strategic advantage and its economic importance dwindled. By 1100 AD, it was completely abandoned, left to the mercy of the encroaching desert. The city's decline and eventual burial under layers of sand explain why the temple remained hidden for so long. Early excavations in 1910, led by French Egyptologist Jean Clédat, offered tantalizing clues. He uncovered inscriptions mentioning a sacred enclosure dedicated to Zeus Kasios, but the temple itself remained elusive. Fast forward to 2022, and a team of archaeologists from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, led by Dr. Mustafa Waziri, were conducting excavations at the Tel Farama site, the location of ancient Pelusium. They unearthed massive granite columns, some reaching a height of 12 meters, toppled and fragmented. These colossal columns, along with limestone walls and other architectural elements, confirmed the existence of the long-lost temple of Zeus Kasios. Mount Kasios, a towering peak located on the border between what is now Syria and Turkey, held immense religious importance for millennia. It was revered as a sacred space by various cultures, including the Canaanites, Phoenicians, and Greeks. For the Greeks, Mount Kasios was inextricably linked to Zeus. The epithet Kasios likely derives from the mountain itself, suggesting a fusion of the Greek god Zeus with a local deity worshipped on Mount Kasios. This blending of divine figures reflects the cultural exchange and syncretism that characterized the ancient world, particularly in regions like Pelusium, where different civilizations converged. Mount Kasios was steeped in mythology. According to Greek legend, it was the site of a titanic battle between Zeus and the fearsome monster Typhon. Typhon, a monstrous serpent with 100 fire-breathing heads, challenged Zeus for control of the cosmos. The epic clash between these powerful forces shook the very foundations of the earth. Ultimately, Zeus emerged victorious, casting Typhon into the depths of Tartarus, a deep abyss in the underworld. Mount Kasios wasn't always associated with Zeus. Long before the Greeks arrived, it was known as Mount Zaphon, a sacred site for the Canaanites who worshipped Baal, the formidable storm god. Like Zeus Kasios, Baal was intrinsically linked to the mountain, embodying the forces of nature, storms, rain, and the fertility they brought. This connection to Baal adds another dimension to the temple's story. It suggests that the site held religious significance long before the Greeks arrived, highlighting the continuity and evolution of religious beliefs in this region. The influence of Baal extended even to the Egyptian pantheon. He became the prototype for Set, the god of chaos, storms, and the desert. This demonstrates the fluidity of religious ideas in the ancient world, where deities and myths were adopted, adapted, and transformed across cultures. The story takes another turn with the arrival of the Romans. Emperor Hadrian, known for his passion for Greek culture and his extensive travels throughout the Roman Empire, took a particular interest in the temple of Zeus Kasios. Inscriptions found within the ruins indicate that he undertook renovations, likely restoring and embellishing the structure, showcasing the enduring appeal of this sacred site across different empires and eras. The Temple of Zeus Kasios at Pelusium truly embodies the cultural melting pot that characterized the ancient Mediterranean world. It reflects the convergence of Canaanite, Greek, Egyptian, and Roman influences, highlighting the exchange of ideas, beliefs, and artistic traditions that shaped this region. This archaeological discovery provides a tangible link to this rich and layered past, reminding us of the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations. If you enjoyed this journey through time, then prepare yourself for our next adventure. We're delving deep into the heart of ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and mysteries waiting to be unearthed. Join us as we explore the life and legacy of Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king who conquered Egypt and forever changed its course. Discover how his reign ushered in a new era of Greek influence, revitalizing the economy and transforming the cultural landscape. Uncover the secrets of this ancient civilization and witness the clash of cultures that shaped the destiny of Egypt.
Egypt, land of pharaohs and pyramids, where time itself seemed to bow before the weight of millennia. Yet by the mid-4th century BC, this once mighty civilization was a shadow of its former glory. its people yearning for a savior. From the north, a young king, barely out of his teens, swept across the known world, conquering all in his path. Alexander the Great. His eyes were set on the Persian Empire, and Egypt lay directly in his path. But what awaited Alexander in the land of the Nile was not the fierce resistance he expected. Instead, he found a people desperate for liberation, a culture ripe for transformation, and a destiny that would intertwine his name with the very soul of Egypt. Forever. This is the story of how a conqueror became a pharaoh, a god, and a legend. This is the story of Alexander in Egypt.